Audio check, check baby, 1, 2. Pedro and I will be with you right around the corner here. Here we go again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's DYOR Live.
Tell me that you're gassed up, I'll pass you a flask full of Jack Love. At last I'm at peace with this fast blood. Only took a crash, landed down in the trash mud to figure out why I've been so smashed up. Holy moly, lonely only when I'm coldly zoning, cozy in my holy home without my homie ceremonies, owning in my own, roaming through my dome, hoping that I'm only throwing stones to get you going. Maybe you could clone me, break the ache and make me hate the way forsaken snakes take their stake in what I make and break it. Baby, lay it on a plate.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great show here. And I've got Pedro laughing in my ear on the side here. It is August 8th, 2025. One day closer to the end of the year. One day closer to your bags being super pumped. And one day closer to the sun going supernova and solving all of our problems. It's been a good week this week, ladies and gentlemen. But it's always a good day when the man next to me, Mr. Pedro Garcia, is in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Pedro to the show. Pedro, what's happening?
And nothing much, man. It is a good day. I can't complain. I
Can't
walked
complain.
out.
Can't complain. You're alive. You're looking at the correct side of the daisies. Oh, is your car in one piece?
It is. Because they make these things out of plastic, right? And it was really. Oh.
Pedro's not been having good luck with his cars all year, ladies and gentlemen. They've been running into poles. Other cars been running into them. They've been running into engine problems. They have all kinds of weird stuff going on.
Just I don't even know how to explain it. I'm watching. Unfortunately, so on another screen, I was looking at something, and then it was something about the market or whatever, some news, and then the scroll went to the next thing. Automatic. They just do it, and so it's the one, it's the Batman scene, but it's the parody when they're about to blow it up. And they're talking about how Batman is talking about basically how they had sex and stuff. And dude, I forgot how funny this scene is, dude. It is so funny, dude. You'd be shocked about the order. Anyways, okay, so yeah.
Welcome, crypto unicorns to the house. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Love the spoof of Michael Saylor as your profile picture. Welcome, Connect Me. In the AI version of a DYOR reporter there. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Good week this week, Pedro. Markets moved. NASDAQ was up. Bitcoin was up, had some nice pumping. It's retracing a little bit as you predicted here on this Friday. Walter's in the house. Thanks for joining. I'm getting nope. King is in the house.
Nice up, King.
Welcome, King, to the show. Thanks for joining us. Are you a rebadged old user or a new viewer of us? Let us know. Always want to know how people find us. Really appreciate it. This is interactive show, so if you stick around and ask some questions about the markets, Pedro and I'd be glad to answer them. I might bullshit you a little bit, but Pedro will give you the right answer about stuff, or at least the right advice and edutainment, as they say. But it's been a good week. But no other. Who's it been the best week for, Pedro?
I would say XRP.
That's right, Ripple. Ripple stuck it to the government today. All it took was about 10 years, or not 10 years, but 8 years, and a complete change in government, complete change in regulation, complete change with Congress, how many other people can count on that happening to get your business going? You say, well, our business is going to be a little tough here until, let's see, well, we got to change the president, we got to change the SEC, Congress has got to vote in our favor. We need the whole mood of the country to change to support us and have worldwide acceptance of this new product that's kind of controversial. Think we can get that done? Sure, Brad, we'll get that done, no problem. And they did. And XRP gets their $150 million back from the government that they had on bond in case they lost, or 125, whatever the number is, doesn't matter. But they get that money back, which means they've got some money for payroll for a couple of weeks. And they don't have to sell XRP tokens to make their operations payment. So XRP booms on the good news from Ripple. Oscar Ramos had like 50 million people on his stream yesterday covering it. And I got to tell you, he would fit in with us with the edutainment. He's up there dancing, listening to music and stuff. Of course, he's making zillions of dollars because he's a big holder, and XRP was pumping live on his stream. But two, removing the selling pressure, which of course, as we all know, Pedro, the market builds in all this stuff. The market's very smart for large products like that. Things that are institutionally traded, almost never can you beat them at their game for timing because they guess all these things and plan it. But removing that sell pressure from Ripple itself to sell its own token to pay for itself, along with some good news and no more regulation issues.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. I just hate to say it. But we could see prices launch with XRP like we did with BNB 4 years ago. And it could be, I'm not being a moon boy here. I'm not saying we're going to the moon. I'm just saying that XRP has done remarkably well for having nothing to offer and a massive operational cost and really nothing to offer. And they're just starting to have things to offer, and they've removed their regulation. So possible good things coming out of Ripple here. Sorry, I'm just sometimes the people that they get. This is always a problem with guests on your show. Sometimes you just get someone who looks like a serial killer, and all of a sudden I'm looking over my shoulder. I don't mean Pedro over here. I mean the man over this shoulder. I mean Pedro's looking snap now, man. He's looking snap. I mean, even this is striking in the back. It's like, that boy's hot with that short hair.
That's funny. That's good.
But this guy on this side of me here, I mean, it looks like he just came back from a mafia hit team from the 1950s or something like that out in Vegas.
That man? Who is that man though?
Bloomberg Intelligence. Mm-hmm. See?
He's in sanitation.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? What are you in? I'm in sanitation. What do you do? I sit behind a desk. Oh God.
Good job. That was good. All right, next. Go ahead. Go.
I'm just going to give a quick shout out to everyone watching us on Rumble. We clearly haven't. You know what? I forgot to do some social media. Even though we get few of our viewers, every one of them counts. Pedro, I'm going to, while you hit up the B, the T, and the C, I'm going to do a little social media behind the scenes.
Excellent. All right, guys. So BTC is doing exactly what we expected it was going to do. We knew that it was going to see the sell-off. It was going to create this the buyer wick. So that means for that to actually happen.
Yeah.
He's got too many deuces. Hey, what's up, dude?
Hold on here. I got to fix this.
Oh, man. I'm so sorry right now. Been really trying to work out and get the body back in shape. And starting to, there's a point where like you can start to handle bigger weights and do more and push yourself. And all right, there we go. All right, enough about that chit chat. Let's talk about a little bit what BTC is doing. We talked about it doing the sell-off. This was exactly what we wanted it to do. The sell-off is an important thing, especially at the beginning of the month, especially if you want this thing to go higher. And so this is what we've actually been seeing. And additionally to that, we've been watching and feel the altcoins really starting to catch wind and starting to get going again. The sell-off was a good sign saying, yes, we are taking profit from the end of last month into the beginning of this month. And then the sell-off allows for institutions to go ahead and put in the correct positions that they want. So many times we see that transition happening. I mean, every single month, every 3 months, every 6 months, every year, right? There are things that we engage on based off of taxation, and especially when institutions are involved, this is how they think, right? Whereas native crypto holders, we have a diamond hand mentality, and so when it sells off, a lot of times we go in and we pick up, we basically save up dry powder to go ahead and get many of the funds that are long-term hold for us. But we don't necessarily sell off for tax reasons because it's not necessarily a business for us when it comes out. Whereas with many institutions, right, they got payroll, they have all these other things they need to meet. And so what they need to do is they'll go through and they sell it at the end of the month to take profit and then push the market down. That correlates with the sell-off through shorts. Once it hits an area where there's liquidity, basically stop hunting, or areas where just you see a lot of orders just sitting there, they'll go through, push the market down into that level, and then receive those orders, i.e. stop you out, or just pick up where a lot of buyers are sitting, and then they push the market up. So it's one of those things that you can understand kind of the cycle of how the market moves. There's definitely steps here that they follow every single month, every single week, and you can almost predict it. Now again, I'm not saying you can predict the market 100%, okay? If that was true, then I would be a gazillionaire, but I'm not, right? But what's interesting.
Yes, and we would all be, because well, I picked the lottery again today.
Oh, what do you thunk? It was funny when Bruce signed it, when Bruce Almighty becomes God, right? And in the movie, he just hits yes to everybody's prayer, and there's that moment where it's now today, half of Chicago, I forget what he was at, whatever city he was at, he simply said won the lotto, and everybody won $3. There you go. Yeah, I don't know why that just popped in my head. Anyhow, so the reason why I'm bringing this up is, long story short, the market is doing what we thought it would do, and that means that we should see a follow through coming into next week, where we see this market kind of start to pump, and then from there, it's kind of exciting. Now today is Friday, right? Which means that they are taking what? They are taking profit, and so we're seeing a bit of a sell-off where they're coming in, right? We see the market kind of started pumping, and you see the sell-off. Now, one of the is that we're going to see either a kind of sell-off where they kind of come back. If you look at the weekly chart here, you can see it's a green chart. We bounced off the 8-period moving average. We came down into this liquidity, which we had about right here. We came down, tapped into it, pushed up. So I put a new liquidity area, which is going to be, excuse me, don't mean to burp in your ear again, the 112.200 area. And so we might next week see it kind of pull back into that level and then push back up. So that's kind of what I'm expecting for BTC here. But ultimately, it was a good week of bouncing off of the 8 here, showing some strength. I hope we can see a little bit of volume. I want to see volume. We're about 25% of buyer volume short of last week for the sell-off. And so I want to see, hopefully in the next 2 days here, I'm going to see a big push in volume where I can expect to see this thing to kind of get up a little higher. But again, I want to see it close green, and then here we could expect this thing to continue higher into the 130 area coming into next week. It's kind of what I'm expecting here at these levels. Ultimately, the market's going to do what the market does. It's like a kid. You can't really tell you what it does, but it rules your life. There you go. So that's what I'm expecting here for now Ethereum. Everybody and their mom. Ethereum is pumping, and we've talked about this now for a while. Remember, we were calling Ethereum down at these lower levels at 500. Average sitting right here, and I started finding that we were staying above the 8-period moving average here. I sat there and said, all right, guys, I'm actually bullish here because we're seeing an accumulation at these levels here that was just a little bit different than down in these levels here. And I said, if it's going to stay above that 100 and down at these levels, my long-term play here had not signaled. Right, and I've talked to you guys about this, that I like looking to see when the 50 gets above the 100-day period moving average. Like when I see that, that turns my bias into a long-term bias, right, of going up. When I see the market, or whatever market it is, we see the 50 and 100, like right here, we see this crossover. Well, then typically what that means is that there is definitely a bearish sentiment to that market, whether it's gold, whether it's bonds, whether it's Ethereum. I mean, it's interesting. I think in the future, we're going to see a different side to Ethereum. And I think gold, like when you look at gold and crude oil, right, it has its own market between itself. I think sooner or later that the different sectors within crypto are going to have their own market. Right now, obviously, if we see a market sell-off, everything's going to sell off. A broad market sell-off, everything sells off. But on the back end, though, is when I look at this level here, or I look at the stages that we're at, we're basically kind of following right now. But I think there's going to be a delineation between markets, whether it's like, you know, BTC has its own market. We'll see Ethereum, because there's so many coins within Ethereum. When you look at Solana, there's a lot of coins within Solana. And I think each one of these blockchains are going to have their own personality and behavior apart from it. So it's going to be a cool little way to diversify your portfolio, right? So when one is up, one probably might be down. Let's say the energy usage is getting weak, or you know, they come out with a new way to be able to express their technology. These things are going to, I think, empower blockchains. And so it still will be a commodity as we see it, but and the aspect of with the tokens within those coins, with the larger coins, are going to have their own ecosystem. And so with that said, right now you can see how with BTC, it's kind of chilling right here, right? Yet we're starting to watch a lot of push when it comes to Ethereum. And so this is where I'm expecting Ethereum to really start to pick up steam here. The biggest thing being just simply, if you look at the volume, and look at the volume in comparative to, you know, at this level, this consolidation period right here, right? This area, it should have come down, I mean, much further, right? Should have come down probably to that 50 period, like we saw with the Bitcoin, like we saw with Bitcoin. The only thing is we didn't, because there's a lot of institutional a desire for it, because I think this is like the working man's, I hate to use the word silver to the gold. It's not a perfect, but in a sense, it'd be like silver to gold in a sense. Whereas you've had just a huge value of Ethereum, barely at 4,000, right? And then Bitcoin is 100,000, right? I mean, it's 4% of the value. And I think we should see it in relationship, really 20 to 30% of the value of what BTC is. And so a correct relationship there should be about a 12 to 15,000 ETH. And I think that correlation is really important. At least, I mean, like I said, like if Bitcoin is at 100,000, I think we should see a 15 to 20,000 Ethereum. And I think that relationship should be correct. It should be, you know, a 5 to 1. That honestly, I think that's where it should be. That's a correct relationship that we should see to what do you call gold. I mean, gold is a 5 to 10 relationship between gold to silver. So I feel like that's what we should see. Now, gold itself, or if you look at silver has been kind of pumping here. the last couple months here, you can see here, we didn't go over this on Technical Tuesday, but you can see it's just been the last few months. I mean, look at it. I mean, since April, from the lows of 27, it just skyrocketed of 39. And for silver, that's a big deal. That's a really, really big deal. I didn't think that they were going to allow it. I really didn't. Oh wow, look at that right there. Just played right off of that. Boom. Oh no, it didn't. It's finding support off of it. Anyways, with this relationship here with gold and silver, this is why I'm kind of looking at to see what's going to happen. So gold, like if you look at gold to silver, you have $39, and then gold is at literally 3,000, right? So again, what is that? It's 1%.
A big difference.
yeah, and it shouldn't be one. We actually talked about this, how it's almost 100 to 1% or 100 to 1, and in reality, it should be much, much higher. And so I think as we keep seeing, but also we talked about the institutional use for it within computers and everything like that, that correlates there. So I think Ethereum and gold, or Ethereum and BTC I think we should see a correct relationship there, because the need for both isn't necessarily institutionalized like we see with, when I mean institution, I mean producers who need gold, who need silver. They need that to actually create the mechanisms that we use, like your phone, your computer, CPUs. So I'm definitely looking at Ethereum.
Hold on, Pedro. I'm looking at our first commercial break right here.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to that time that we need to earn a few bucks for us, and thank you to Rumble for making us part of the creator program here. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a task on hand. Brooke Burke, a fixture in the entertainment and wellness industry for decades, known for her roles in Dancing with the Stars and Wild On, is not one to shy away from the spotlight. But shortly after she turned 50, despite her expertise, the fitness icon suddenly found herself battling a body that seemed to be working against her. Now Brooke is opening up publicly about her experience because it's one millions of women face. Unexplained weight gain, muscle loss, and declining energy. She has revealed how she discovered one thing that made her leaner and stronger and healthier than ever. She says today at age 53, she feels amazing and her abs are tighter today than they were 10 years ago. What changed for her was that she began biohacking and discovered that she needed more protein, but not just any protein, one specific protein which was a total game changer. And when she found it, she said it was like uncovering a secret weapon for weight management and muscle gain. Everything changed. I'm leaner and stronger than I've been in my entire life, she said. She's sharing this with the world to both women and men. That's not right. Women and men can learn all about this revolutionary protein. Click the link in the chat or scan the QR code on the screen to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a QR code here for Power Life. Give that QR code a click. Let our audience know, let our advertisers know that our audience is interactive. It goes a long way into helping us here at Rumble. And also in your chat, there's a learn more. And also, if you're watching this on the replay, there's a link in the description here. Click that and go and see what they have to offer. See what Brooke Burke learned and see what Power Life is all about. And thank you to Power Life for sponsoring this segment of DYOR Live.
I thought you were going to say Brooke Shields. Who's Brooke? Was that the girl who was on E?
Yeah, she was on E. She's been on a number of shows. She was on Dancing with the Stars. She was on. But let's get far away from this ad before we comment about that.
No. I would say she was cool. I always thought she was very entertaining. She knew how to she knew how to communicate well. All right, so next, let's go ahead and
I left you off at silver and gold.
Yes. All right. Ethereum has been playing nicely into our hand.
No, I was referencing someone that Brooke Burke having a lot of things going on there. which we won't talk about. But Pedro, yes, Ethereum, the Bitcoin divergence in the past 12, 18 hours has come down a whole bunch. I haven't looked at it this morning, but last night it was really moving down. And Ethereum, XRP, just about every type of altcoin you could think was pumping last night.
Yeah.
And so Ethereum, how high did they get? And what does the chart say for the future for them?
Absolutely. Give me 1 second. Altcoin. What's that called? Altcoin and Bitcoin dominance.
This is BTC point D.
That's what it is. BTC.
You get rid of the word altcoin, yeah. Just BTC point D. You got it.
Dominant.
Well, while Pedro's pointing that up, thank you to everyone watching us on Rumble. For those of you watching on your TVs, make sure that you grab an account, a Rumble account here. It helps us out tremendously if you have an actual account. You don't need to join Rumble Premium, although we would like you to. But down here, there's a join Rumble button or somewhere on the screen. Rumble tracks that, and for more people that we get to join as a result of watching us, it just helps us with their creator program. And it's not that it gives us like some money bonus or anything. What it does is it helps the algorithm, it helps Rumble's algorithm push us out to more people because they know, hey, there's something interesting going on here, and it's causing people to either sign up, repost, like, or comment. Do all of those for us. We'd really appreciate it. We're getting ready we want to break. Pedro and I want to get to 500 followers. We're approaching 200, and we need you guys that are watching on your smart TVs that don't have accounts. Just pick up your phone, go to rumble.com, go to DYOR Media on it. It's easy to search DYOR Media, and click the join button. Please do it for us. Please, for the love of God, please. All right, back to Ethereum.
Ethereum. Okay, so I've actually removed the crypto altcoins apart from Ethereum and Bitcoin dominance. So right now, when you look at the crypto community at large, it's about $1 trillion. So we're pretty much adding all the altcoins out there. Now that is tiny. Like that is absolutely tiny. Right now, I think we're about $5 trillion when it comes to a complete market cap. Let me make sure I have that correct. Market cap for oh wow. So we're about $4 trillion, 3.86. We're at $4 trillion for market cap altogether. Now, mind you, just some of the top stocks in the world literally range $3 to $4 trillion. That is, like when you look at Nvidia, I think it's
right.
$3.5 trillion market cap, with I think how much, like almost $400 billion traded on a daily basis, right? Like it's
that's bonkers.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. It's fun times. Whereas crypto, it's very small. Like I know we're like, oh no, we missed the bunch. It's at, XRP's at 3 or BTC is at 100 million, right? But it really isn't. So, and then the other problem I'm bringing up is if you look at, no, stop. Oh, why? Don't be a douche. No, do not want to sign in. Yes. This is exactly
douche zone.
Give me a sec. I gotta sit there and log in. It's not good because I logged in and I set up an account and then hit takeover.
Thank you to those commenting about Pedro and Striking. Really appreciate it. Trillions, yes, trillions. Well, if you recall, just not that long ago, Pedro and I were talking about the total market cap getting dropping to almost $2 trillion. And people were doom and gloom, and they couldn't believe that it would get so low and that kind of stuff. And we had to remind people, hey, it used to be $100,000, the total market cap. It used to be much, much lower, and it's grown a lot. But to think that it would stay at 2 trillion and not double to 4 trillion was naive. People say, oh, Bitcoin can't go that high, and altcoins can't get high. That was like when Amazon was at 500 billion, and people are like, I can't believe a company's worth 500 billion. and Apple was at like 400 billion, and people were saying it can't really go much higher. And I sat there and I thought to myself, forget technical analysis or really fundamental analysis. To think that no stock could double, or price of anything could double, because everything has. If you look at the price of everything over time, except for like the Arthur Anderson Company or Lehman Brothers, you know, things that blow up, everything does go up eventually. And so that market cap had to go up. And if you were able to trade that market cap, you too would be in the trillions of dollars.
Trillions and trillions of dollars. Shout out to, just real quick, shout out to Fire Chicken. We're going to check them out. Come Gar! What's up, brother? I hope you're doing well. We'll be checking out Fire Chicken later today. I really appreciate you a lot, man, for what you do for us. You rock the mic. I don't care what those other doctors say about you. I like you, bro.
Speaking of Chuck, I was watching one of my favorite podcasts, Guns and Gadgets, and their thing was sponsored by CMMG. And I was like, come Gar!
I love it. It's so good. Let's go ahead and post this here real quick. All right. So what am I doing here next? Okay. So the reason I'm bringing this up is you can sit and see, like, from an altcoin and Ethereum. So Ethereum right now we're sitting about 3 trillion. Bitcoin literally holds almost 60% of that value. It's important to look at this. Almost 60%. That means, and then Ethereum itself, if you look at Ethereum is 500 billion, right? So from there, you're literally dealing with, I mean, the other coins, it's only in the billions. And like when I look at Hedera, when I look at also XRP, even though I don't necessarily agree with it, and let's talk about crypto.com, let's talk a Uniswap. You look at these other areas, when you look at I already said HBAR, Agent-T, and the technology that they're creating, so you can actually create a form of a decentralized internet that you make money on, right? Like when this stuff starts to really pump and people actually understand what is actually happening with these companies and what they're doing, institutions now can sit there and say, shoot, I mean, $4 billion, $3 billion, and this technology easily could be. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because the news of yesterday with Trump stating that we can now go through and put money from 401ks into these projects and these technologies it's going to make it. I mean, just T. Rowe Price, that I think, what is it? I think what is it? And $5 trillion under management. 5 to 10. BlackRock obviously is
just lots of trillions.
Yeah, I mean, and we're talking, there's so much money under. So as many of these institutional researchers really start to dive deep into what projects they're going to look at long term, you want to go and you want to look at a lot of these ones that are forward thinking in relationship to the blockchain, forward thinking into what we're expecting to see growth, right? Like a decentralized internet. Like we saw what Uber did to the taxi companies, and literally taxi companies in almost every major city around the world ruled those cities.
Absolutely.
Like
Chicago was just a mafia.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it really was. And you saw when Uber came about, they were trying to stop it. But again, you can't stop technological advancements. It's like Polaroid. I was actually talking with somebody yesterday, older woman, and she's like, I'm not really into crypto. And I said, well, can I go, I look really young. But you can see I have a little gray hair right here, right? Wait.
The man is 13 years younger than me. Shh.
Oh yeah. Shh. And so, but I said, I remember when, Polaroids and digital cameras came about. And she goes, what? And I go, yeah, do you remember how we all used to sit there and do this right here and wait for it? And then the digital cameras came out and we're like, it's not It's not as, I mean, it's cool, but it's not that cool. Also, it's a little expensive to use. And I said, but what really made it so advanced was two things. One, the advancement. Oh, and it's gone. Oops. Oh, and then the advancement of the internet, right? I said the internet really made digital cameras really explode because you could take that technology and put it on to something and really push it forward. She goes, yeah, absolutely. I get that. Yeah, that makes complete sense. And I go, and then, I mean, even when the internet first came out, how much, maybe twice a week you were on the internet? You know, was that, yeah. But now, like when you consider 20 years later, that, I mean, we all use the internet like we eat. Like it's just part of our life. It is not even, you can't even live unless you know how to do.
When it goes down, people flip their minds like, ah! Or the other thing, go to the restroom without your phone. Just try it. Try it, ladies and gentlemen.
I am trying to do it. Yeah, I actually crave it. It's weird. It's the weirdest thing, man.
I have one magazine, the history of, it's a Rolling Stone special edition of Pink Floyd, and it's taken me, it's like 200 pages or 100 pages, whatever. It's a big thing, special edition, and I've had it 8 years, and I only read it when I forget my phone in the bathroom, and I'm not anywhere near getting through it. It's like each time I go, it's a little special joy when I forget my phone.
That's awesome. So the reason I'm bringing this up is this. Like, when you look at the internet stocks for the first, I hate to say, I mean, the first 10 years, you know, they really weren't that big. I mean, most people don't realize like NVIDIA went sideways for years until things really got going. And they knew what they were building was the backside of our culture, and so they just kept plugging away. Right now, Web3 is that mindset right now. It's like the internet. It's the advancements of the internet. The next side of, they call it literally Web3 for a reason. In addition to that, you also have technologies that are so forward thinking that literally are going to disrupt. I keep getting something keeps happening. All right, anyways, so when it comes down to the market at large, when you're looking at this, we're still in the nascent era of crypto. And to sit there and say that just Uniswap itself is maybe under $20 billion is just, it's crazy, because in the future, Uniswap will be the and I think Uniswap, because they have so much money, will be able to keep advancing, keep moving forward in how they bring trade throughout all the world, and other companies like that. And then a decentralized system like, let's say, Crypto.com or Coinbase. These are not going to be one of those things that will be unnoticed. Institutions are going to look at that and go, what are the leading companies that have the most money and are driven to keep advancing for this type of technology? And just like we've seen with Google, just like we've seen with many other organizations out there that have just skyrocketed, right? Palantir, Tesla, many of these other ones, these ones that we're looking at every day that I point out to you, BNB, XRP, and a lot of the other ones are literally going to be the ones you look back and go, dude, I can't believe I got in when Crypto.com was at $4 billion or $5 billion. Now it's sitting close to like 800 billion, 900 billion, because of the advancements. And I'm using this as an example, but like, imagine to be able to sit there and say, I bought, let's say, Goldman Sachs stock when it was at $3 billion, $2 billion, and now it sits at 400 billion. And so, and the growth of these will be exponential, just like we've seen. We'll see orders of magnitude growth as institutional money comes into many of these other I hate to use the word cryptos, but just other coins, even the word coin. I mean, I think they're going to come up with new names, but many of these
other assets.
Yeah, other assets. That's a good way of putting it. Other assets that we just look at that we take for common. And so like, don't just sit there and get frustrated that it's only moving XYZ. I also spoke with another guy last night. A friend of mine had his birthday party, and so we were sitting there, and one of the guys was sitting there going like, crypto was brought up, and I was like, oh yeah, I like crypto. And when the guy's like, oh man, yeah, and I gotta be careful because I will talk your ear off about crypto. And so I go, yeah, man, it's real cool to see what's going on. So the guy goes, what do you have? And I go, I got a few. And then he goes, yeah, I got XRP, but I'm kind of upset. And I go, really? I was like, well, why? He goes, it's not really moving. And I go, well, where did you buy in at it? And he goes, probably like that, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And I go, oh, wait, what? I go, you got in at 2-3 years ago? He goes, yeah, I put a couple thousand in. And I looked at him and I said, what are you talking about, dog? Like
it's got to be up from 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, dude, he's up, like up. And so like he's, what is he got in over here back in 20 the drop, and I think the low it got was what is that, like it was like around here, like 21 cents or like 32 cents, 31 cents, and and he bought a few thousand. So it's like he got in, yeah, right here, like, excuse me, that's what he said, yeah, it's like 12 or 13 cents in this area right here. And I looked at him and I said, are you serious? Are you joking with me? He goes, yeah, but it's not really moving. And I go, you tell me an asset in 4 years, you can literally see a 40x, a 30x, not 40% or even 400%, but you literally got, like, what is from percentage? 40x, boom. That's a 40,000%, or what is that? 30%. It was like you got it like 12 or 13 cents, and he put a couple thousand in, and I looked at him and I said, "Tell me any other asset that you can." I go, "Are you staking it?" He goes, "What's staking?" I go, "Oh, Lord, are you serious?" And like it was one of those moments. I'm like, this whole entire time you could have been accruing so much more. And he goes, who are you? And I go, I do this for a living. I was just playing coy with you. Let me explain this to you. And I said, just like you get dividends. And so I told him, I straight up said, I said, look, go here, go to the ledger. This is where you're able to stake it there. Go there. Listen, this is if there is a ledger that you would honestly expect that they're going to protect you because of everything that's happening, it would be the ledger. You know what I'm saying? This is the most institutionalized ledger out there. If it does get hacked, for them to simply say they're not going to cover you would be just detrimental to them, just absolutely, and so I would expect them to take care of you. And so I go here, you just, I kind of explained it to him, and I go, and here is my list on my Facebook page. Go through this education, and please, for the love of God, become educated. Like, understand, because you literally probably missed out at thousands and thousands of dollars for not educating yourself right now. Even if you just went on your Eccentric, because he bought it on Coinbase or whatever. And so when he went through, I just simply said to him, I said, look, you can stake it on Coinbase right now until you actually understand right there. And he's like, oh, I've seen that thing, stake your XRP, stake your this or that. And I go, yes. I go, don't stake it all. Take some of that money, keep it there, simple and access, but actually understand the XRP ledger, so you can actually stake it there and make some real cash. And he goes, how much do you think? I go, I think they're giving like 7%, 7 to 10% right now. On a yearly basis. He goes, 7 or 10%. I go, yeah. Yeah. Like, the crypto is much different from an actual like a percentage level of getting back, because that money's being used for them to make money. And so he goes, wow. So I said, yeah, man, good luck, have fun. And so he was happy. But again, how many people out there that own these coins, right, that just don't understand the nuance of the technology? And then when it really starts to ascend, right, when XRP starts to get into the trillions of dollars, when we see not just XRP, but then Ethereum hitting literally, I mean, right now it's $400 billion or $500 billion. It could still triple. And
right.
it like, and you're like, wait, $1.5 trillion? Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Because the fact is what it's building. It's the technology behind it. Now, it may be a little slower than everything else, but it's basically carrying the heaviest part of crypto. It holds crypto in its hands through the EVMs. Majority of layer ones right now are built on this. And when you look at the actual base layers, right, they still use EVMs because it was that big of a deal of creating a smart contract.
Very compatible with a lot of things. You know what else is compatible, Pedro?
What else?
Taking other people's money and putting it in our pockets. And we're going to do that right now with a new segment of the show, sponsored by Morning Kick. And this is going to be an interesting one. Hey you there, this video, it's from Chuck Norris. Yeah, it was insane. He's in his 80s and he says he still feels like he's in his 50s. It was pretty shocking. He had some pretty cool tips in there too on what he's doing, including these 3 foods that he avoids like the plague. He explained all the things he was doing and it was super simple. They're so easy and you can do it right at home. When I first saw this, I knew I had to share this with you. Since what happened to Chuck could also happen for you too, but with any new method, of course, your results can vary. But the video is definitely worth checking out. Watch his method now by clicking the link in chat or scanning the QR code on your stream. You won't believe how simple it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you a second there to do this. Pedro, I'm going to reread this again because the campaign clock didn't start at the right time. But anyway, hey you there, this video, it's from Chuck Norris. Yeah, it was insane. He's in his 80s. I can't believe he's in his 80s. And he says he still feels like he's in his 50s. It was pretty shocking. He had some pretty cool tips in there too on what he's doing, including these 3 foods that he avoids like the plague. He explained all the things he was doing and it was super simple. They're so easy and you can do them right at home. When I first saw this, I knew I had to share this with you. Since what happened to Chuck could also happen for you too, but with any new method, of course, your results can vary. But the video is definitely worth checking out. I'll check Chuck Norris out. Watch his method now by clicking the link in chat or scanning the QR code on the screen. You won't believe how simple it is. Right here next to me is a QR code in your chat on your phone or even on your big smart TV. There is a chat function. Go up there and click the Learn More button. You're watching on the replay. It's in the description here. Thank you to Morning Kick for sponsoring this segment of the show.
Oh, that's interesting.
God, I have no idea what that was. I swear they must have AI write these things. Because and the AI they use is just off with the English language, just a little, just like they farmed it out to someone in India or somewhere. And so they don't, like all of these, I look at them and like, they need to tweak that because it's not easy to read. Like you say the word 2 5 times in a sentence and you go like 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Anyway. Oh, but 1775 coffee, I kept saying, you guys got to rewrite this. They did rewrite theirs. You can't,
yes.
They did. They just tweaked a little, and this last time I read it, it was much easier to read. Anyway, thanks to all of our sponsors for doing it. We're kicking ass in the sponsorship section. Revenues increasing by thousands of percents. But not thousands of cents, just thousands of percents.
I'll take it. I'll keep taking it.
Yeah, I'll take it too. Anyway, back to the show. This segment of the show is just sponsored by Pedro and I.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of Chuck Norris, and him getting older and death, Death once had a near Chuck Norris experience. Death does not come knocking on Chuck Norris's death or Chuck Norris's door. Chuck Norris goes to Death's door and says, "Hey, it's about time I go to sleep."
All right, everyone out there, we're doing well. I'm testing some new features with what do you call it here, with Rumble, streaming and all that, we need you to keep chatting. So if you're watching us out there, if you're just listening to us and while you're at work, Mikester, I know that's you. Perhaps AI Wolf is out there doing the same thing. And Chuck, maybe you might be mining as in fiat while you're doing this. Give us a comment here and there, just so I can test a few features out regarding the old systems here. We got all new stuff coming at us here for audience interaction, and I'm trying to figure them out. Because Pedro, good things are happening with Rumble. Good things are happening. In July, we completed our first month as part of the creator program, meeting all of the goals, and we're well on our way to doing that for August already. And it was the first time we rolled over into the new month to do that. And good things come to you when you do that. Good things come to you, and they kind of boost you up in the creator program, and we'll talk about that later. But it's all because of the audience. It's all because of the audience. We would not get to participate in the creator program with Rumble, which is, I gotta tell you, they don't let anyone in. It's selective because it's difficult to get in. Not because there's a panel of judges going, these guys suck and these guys are good. You have to do a lot of work. You have to do a lot of work to get in. You have to meet a lot of goals. And unfortunately, total viewership isn't it? But hours watched is. So those of you that do watch, you do watch for a long time. And that makes a big difference. Unlike X, where people watch for 6 seconds and then flip and move on. People watch us here for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, that type of stuff. So thank you to all of you. And for those of you out there watching, drop some comments here. We want to keep the comment machine going because that is also an indicator of stuff going on here. And I have a little meter up in the corner up there showing how many active chatters there are in the last 5 minutes, and there are currently 0. So let's get going, people.
Does that make
I think it all helps.
Okay, I got you. All right, yeah. Did that help?
I will self-comment here.
All right. So let's talk about a couple other things here real quick. So the market here, as we noticed, like I said, the top 100 coins here all range between like 700 milli to about $2 trillion, 2 T's. And so, but it's really the dominance of Bitcoin that holds 60% of this, which is kind of crazy because when I look at, let's say, Ethereum, and I look at XRP, I look at BNB, I mean, it's less than $1 trillion. I mean, 500, 6, 7, and then you have 8 trillion, 9 trillion, excuse me, not 9 trillion, $900 billion altogether that you could add. And just those tokens themselves easy could get up to a couple $1 trillion because of the network effect that they have. And so these are some of the things that as those push up, right, expect as the institutional money, they're going to be looking for gems that they can get in. And this is where I'm sitting there saying this is why we bring up the top 10. Also, I think one of the ones to be paying attention to again is Stellar. If you like XRP, the discount for Stellar, which is only 13 trillion, they're doing something similar. I don't necessarily like it, but if you're looking for something that you know, like the market value as that keeps going up, they're going to say are there other companies out there that we could get into where we could have a bigger bang for our dollar, right? That for us to get in, how many X's could they get? And when you look at the idea of XLM for Stella, it's not, I know it's not that, it's Stellar. But when you look at Stellar at $13 billion, and then you look at XRP, which is sitting, I didn't realize I could do that. That is cool. Oh, look at that, people. I thought it froze. And then if you look, I'm such a dork, I'm sorry. When you look at XRP is sitting, in the $200 billion market. And then you look at Stellar and it's only sitting at that 13 billion. You have potential to really see some big gains there, at least a 10 to 15x off of those levels if they get parity. So you know, it's not, when we see a Stellar market sell-off, it might be smart to really kind of get in at these lower levels as we start to see it go down. Again, many institutional buyers are going to be looking for other, you know, adjacent plays along with the higher ticket coin or other higher ticket higher, why is that so
ticket items?
Thank you. Higher ticket items. And so they'll sit there and go, okay, we'll buy a percentage of this, and then we'll also, these are the adjacent companies that they're competing with. We're also going to buy pieces of these here. And so you're going to start seeing this. So, and I think we'll see this probably in the next 3 to 6 months of money funneling in, and that correlates right with the altcoin season. So it's going to be really kind of, it's going to have, I mean, you know, altcoin season was just one of those things that just took off. It was part of the actual mechanism. But now it's going to be hand in hand with literally institutional money. So we'll expect it to go up like that. So I'm kind of excited here with this, as you guys can see. But go through, I always tell everybody, go through and the top 20 coins, right? Go through and read their white papers. You know, I know that's a lot of work, but in doing that, it actually will help you understand where the market is sitting, what's actually happening in it, right? Like AVAX is kicking butt, right? We're watching it really start to really kind of pick up in market value, and we're watching it push up. So personally, when I'm looking at these things, I'm always checking to see, are these things getting ready to really pick up and get going? And so that's what I'm always looking for. Obviously, you have Tether for trading volume, right? Like this, you'll have DAI, you'll also have USDC. So these things also are other avenues that you could actually take part in as a percentage. So let's say you know how you have your money market accounts, right? And your money market accounts give you a higher interest rate on your money just sitting in cash, right? In that same sense, USDC, USDT, and many of these other stable coins are going to act as, and I think they're going to be I think they're going to turn into money market accounts. They're going to branch out. They're going to be stable coins, but they're also going to offer a yield for the stake for many of their clients, right? And I think they'll be competitive. I think institutional companies or institutional money market accounts are going to have to step up and literally increase their interest rates, give up part of their margin so that they can take part in the stable coin, the stable coin industry. And so that's another thing I'm actually really excited about, and potentially we're going to see happen down the road. But that, I don't think that's going to happen for probably a year, because banks really fight to hold those margins. So either they do. Pressure, they'll put pressure on many of these other companies, but even then, I mean, you have to fight with the foundation, and it's hard to really. Why does it keep saying "C not available"?
Because I'm updating some things, and it's not supposed to do that.
Okay, cool. XRP Pedro. I know, dude. Brandon, command. I am not Brandon. I am not an XRP. I did not come on over. But what I'm saying though is look. I'm listening to Shogun. He called me out. He said, bro, you may not like them, but you just lost out on literally a 20x, a 30x by just saying you're not going to buy them. He goes, you could have put in $1,000 and walked out with $20,000 and still not like them because of pride. And I sat there and I was like, he's right.
It's like betting on the Knicks. It's like, I hate those MFers. They're terrible, you know? But they're going to win this game, so I got to bet on them. You know?
Yeah.
Welcome, Brando Commando. Thanks for joining the show on Rumble. If you could do us a favor, hit that like button, hit that share button, and hit the copy part so it registers that that did it. And then hit that repost button. There's a repost button if you're watching on your phone, and maybe in the 3-dot section, or you might got to jiggle your screen a little or do a chicken dance to get it. All those things help us out a lot. I really appreciate it.
You know, it's interesting. I wonder how many of our crew that we have here are guys.
I say 98%.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Kumgar, Connect Me, Crypto Unicorn. I think that is a guy.
I can tell you for sure they're all guys.
All right, yeah, fire chick. Man. Yeah.
I just happen to know the inside track. Well, NHM, the one that says NHM Connect could potentially be a woman, but most of the time it's a man. It's a corporate account.
I don't know.
Just because they talked to me offline. That's all. In fact, you talked to them offline too.
We're gonna leave that alone there. We'll just leave that one alone. All right. So, Crypto Unicorn, good to have you, as well. As well as Crypto Mike. But so these are some of the things I wanted to bring up here today because as these things really start to pick up, like Aave, another one was Aave, man. They are Uniswap, man, Mantle, right? Obviously I talked about you know what's funny is I could have gotten at Bitcoin Cash when they first started, and I didn't. I was like, I sat there and a buddy of mine, he's like, dude, this is gonna be like another Bitcoin. And I said, how's that possible? Like, there's no way that could happen. And he goes, I'm telling you, man, get in on it. And like, it was like around like this level here back in 2018. I still wasn't in crypto. And I was just like, nah, it's funny money, man. And I can't believe how much money he must have made. So much money on this. Like, it just exploded.
What I loved about BCH was that they forked, and so in theory, you know, everybody that had the same amount of token or coins in one versus the other, and then all people did was just, you know, but there wasn't obviously as much liquidity or any in the BCH one, and and everyone just said, all right, I know I've got pennies in there, I'm just gonna dump it. Just sell it. And they're like, no, please don't just dump it. Please, no, just dumping it. The people wanted their 20 cents. But it went to $80, or what's the BCH now?
That's $500.
Yeah, it went to $500. Right. Didn't go to 100K.
Well, what's interesting is that it went up to 4,000, I believe. I think it was like 40, like 500 was the high. And what was interesting behind it was this, is that you still have people who use it. It's still used. It's not like people sit there and look at it and go, whatever. Like, people still use it. People still think it's a legit thing, and it could. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the key, is it right now people are going to be looking for other avenues. Like, right now, the price of BTC, right, 100,000 is nice, but you know, I do expect to see a 10 million Bitcoin here, and 15 years, 20 years. But you're going to, why is that so? Man, forgive me for a second, man. I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, over here on the graphic is Bitcoin Cash, $581, $11 billion market cap, 324 million traded in the past 24 hours. Not giant by any means, but big. $11 billion is nothing to sneeze at here in these markets, with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana and XRP claiming a lot more than that. But for something that we just never talk about. I mean, when was the last time we mentioned Bitcoin Cash? We mentioned it when the Roger, whatever his name is, went to go in hiding in Spain. I think he's still trying to get a pardon or come back to the U.S. or something. And we just never talk about it. And I don't hear anyone else. I'll watch other people's shows. I probably haven't heard Crypto Lifer talk about Bitcoin Cash in
people are going to
years.
You know they are. They are.
Watch. Right. You know it. You know it.
We've
hey, well, we're taking a look at Bitcoin Cash here. Look at this. It's pumping right now since we talked. That whole thing right here is okay. No, it's not. But
actually, while you're talking, I'm actually pulling up the rest of my notes here. Keep doing.
Anyway, so I've as a person that streams a lot, I watch other people's streams, to get ideas and steal their content. No, just to see how other people do, see how they're engaging their fans and all that. And I never do run into people talking about Bitcoin Cash. I think I heard Rand talk about it once on his show, Crypto Banter. But it only ever really comes up when they talk about presidential pardons and or people running from the IRS or things like that. And that story has probably kept Bitcoin Cash down a little bit, so that story needs to go away. And if it does, maybe Bitcoin Cash will pump because it has no cloud over it anymore, like Rumble did. Or Rumble, I'm sorry, Ripple. Oops. Pedro, I'm gonna go refill my coffee. I will be right back.
All right.
I can still hear you.
All right, BCH. Why is that doing that? Oh, that's why. Oh, I'm doing Bitcoin Cash futures. Where is, no, not the perpetuals. Give me the actual Coin Cash. Yeah, that. Okay. Okay. Here we go, guys. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about the Bitcoin Cash. All right. So one of the reasons why I wanted to bring them up, okay, and we're gonna go over one other one, which is gonna be okay. It's gonna be really okay.
First you get the money.
First you get
then you get the
money.
power.
Then you get the power.
Then you get the women.
Then you get the women. Yeah, you're gonna get the women.
I knew he was going with that one.
Okay, so this is what was so really cool about it when you look at it from a monthly standpoint. We're starting to see it kind of push above here. We're watching it actually put in higher. I think we're going to put in a higher high. The key point here is when you look at this is look how you see an increase in the volume starting to step in here. And the reason I want to bring this up is one of the things that I was talking about earlier is that institutions are going to be looking for other adjacent coins, other adjacent mechanisms that they can take part in and get a discount on something and then expect a return from it. You'll also see a lot of these names being brought up, like on Bloomberg, a lot of things that get brought up that are going to come out there and really kind of take a new narrative. And I honestly, because we're trying to build a network here, I am actually going to try to bring in, let's say, other companies and other things of that nature, kind of like what we did with Carmen yesterday. We're going to try to do that. And so when people come in and they really, as new technologies are being developed, and especially if you are a company out there that is a good company, you're creating awesome tech, but you don't necessarily have the cash. It makes sense to you to sit there and tokenize your stock to bring in a narrative for people to look at you. And so that's what I'm expecting to see here for a lot of these things, is that institutions now have access to the crypto market, and they're going to be searching. They're going to be looking for areas to get yield, safe yield. Second, they're going to be looking for areas to get capital growth. They're going to be looking for growth areas. And then the third part they're going to be looking for is to diversify in large cap stocks. And so in all those mechanisms, which is really the primary mechanisms, and then everything kind of gets birthed out of that from an institutional standpoint. So this is where we want to see if we can jumpstart that. And I don't think they'll go really into micro coins yet, but I mean, as we start to come into a new I don't think the ICO is dead. I don't think meme coins are dead. They will always be there. We already know that they are considered in Washington as a collectible, and I feel like they are for when I'm talking about meme coins and micro coins here that potentially could be pushing, these will act as social indicators, much like we use other indicators, right? Like, for example, we've talked about this a couple times in the past, the strip coin, or not the strip coin, the stock that followed the strippers, basically. And the reason I bring that up is because I've said, one of the things that I look at, and it's not, I'm not trying to like be weird here. This isn't me trying to be funny. This is a real thing you need to pay attention to, right? Because if you don't, you actually, you potentially miss out.
You have to pay attention to the stripper coins?
Well, kinda. So it's RCI is really what.
Wait, hold on. Before you move into that specifically, I need to do one quick second thing to acknowledge Brando Commando and Thank you, Brando Commando, for the Rumble rant. We really appreciate it. As Pedro and I always say, it goes towards helping us get the word out about our show and bringing you guys a better experience here and better edutainment. Thank you, Brando Commando. The best thing about it, it shows the Rumble algorithm that something good is going on here, and that Tom and Pedro are so good, we're able to reach through the electrosphere, grab money out of your pocket, pull it all the way through, and put it in our pocket just like that. That's how that works, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you to Brando Commando.
Thank you. That does help us out, man, immensely. What is it?
You're right, Chuck. We do have a number of viewers here. We can get the hype meter working here.
Absolutely. And hey, guys, if you guys have any questions, please just step in and ask me questions. I know I'm giving you guys some weird stuff. Why am I not? Is it
some weird stuff? Anyway, we maybe let's see if we got a you know what, Pedro, I'm going to take a moment to refresh the ad campaign here, and earn a few bucks while you get whatever you're doing set up here, because you know, as I say, I just refilled my coffee, and you know what that means. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped. Only 1,000 units. That's right, it's scarce and limited, just like Bitcoin. You get 3 different kinds in your kit. You're getting a bold dark roast that hits hard, you're getting the smooth medium roast, and you're getting the Vitality Mushroom Coffee for clean energy and laser focus and no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, and mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. Nope, no plastic here. You're also getting a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions. Hey, they dropped the word political out of it. You're also getting a black 1775 coffee tumbler. It's $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. You got a QR code right over here next to me, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching this on your smart TV, hold your phone up there and click it just like that. Show our advertisers that our audience is interactive and is interested in what is going on here and with our advertisers. Also, in your comment section, there's a Learn More link in there. And then if you're watching this on the replay, in the body of this here on Rumble and YouTube, there will be a link to 1775 coffee. It's good stuff. Get it while you can. Thank you to 1775 Coffee for sponsoring this segment of DYOR Live.
DYOR Live.
All right, Pedro, back to the show. Thank you, everybody that's watching us. If you're watching us on your smart TV, hold your phone up, click. No, there's no QR code. Hold your phone up in front of your face, type rumble.com, go and join rumble.com. You can do it for free, and you can like and comment and be interactive with us. We are an interactive show, and we count on you guys for all that mega monies we're making. Mega money. We made 11 cents on that last ad, so that's why we count on you guys.
I don't know.
Dr. Fire Chicken says. Where did the social stream go?
So
there we go.
I look at different type of indicators to really kind of let me know which way the market is really wanting to go. Also, these kind of show what I do not understand why that is not working. Let me try this.
Hey, Joe, I have that discussion with myself about once a day. I do not understand why that is not working. And normally it involves computers. Sometimes it involves other things. But today it's our air conditioning. The Canadian regional headquarters of DYOR Media is in dire straits right now. There is no air conditioning, and it's going to be in the high 80 degrees, early or low 90s here for you Fahrenheiters. It's going to be in the 30s here for you centigrade people, or Celsius, or whatever you want to say. And it's getting toasty, especially with this this old computer I have, working at top. It's just, the heat's pouring out of it. And it's trying to keep up with my noodling here. And that's why we were looking at you, CDW. I know there's 2 of you that have watched the show on LinkedIn. And so if you're looking to sponsor someone coming up, get in touch with us. We'd really appreciate a technology sponsor, that's for sure.
That would be great. Matic, boom. So there's just there are a lot of companies out here that I think are undervalued. When I say companies, I really mean companies because I think these are going to be turned more into companies than just DeFi projects. I also think that we're going to see DeFi and that decentralized system really hold a lot of strength in the market. One of the things they want to look, because once institutions really start to get involved, they're going to be looking for cheap deals that they can really expect to see it kind of go up.
Good Lord, come on, machine, you can do it. You can do it. Sorry, things are running a little slow today, ladies and gentlemen. Pedro, our voice, and we're still going, just the screen isn't stuck in a transition from one to the other. There we go.
Totally understood. Awesome. All right, so the reason why I'm bringing this up is we're going to be looking at CoinMarketCap and a lot of the exchanges that are being used for BCH here. You can see here that we're seeing an increase on a month-over-month basis for Bitcoin Cash. You can see here that the market literally in the last 3 months went from 250,000 all the way up to 581,000, or excuse me, 250 or $248 here, $250 to doubling itself to $581 for the actual token here, or excuse me, coin. So this area here, again, I think is an undercut. Not a lot of people are talking about it. I'm seeing increase in volume. You see that the last month we got through all the moving averages. Right now, there's really nothing holding this thing back, so it can push up. And so me looking at it, we saw it come down over last week and then push back up and again, came down this week. But you can see here, even the broad market, we're watching it come in even stronger. So I'm watching volume step into Bitcoin Cash here. And so if you want to take advantage of this, you could actually take advantage on the next pullback here to that 8-period moving average, either on a weekly or monthly area. The daily has actually been playing pretty nice as well. But you can see as if it pulls back to that 20 or the 8, look to get in on potentially I'm looking to get in on a potential futures trade here, where I want to take part in this, where I can go in and put in a small little cash amount, make sure my risk is correct. But this is one of those ones that I'm potentially thinking, with what's happening within Washington and institutions, I cannot see them ignoring Bitcoin Cash. It just makes sense to me. So they could diversify out of Bitcoin and be able to kind of offer more gain with less risk. So one of those things that we'll definitely look at.
Connect Me One says Bitcoin Cash futures. Ha ha ha. That is a funny. That it is normally, if you say Bitcoin Cash, it's also a reference to the spot market, cash market, spot market, interchangeable.
Yeah.
And so
absolutely.
Cash futures, you're like, but the name is Bitcoin Cash futures.
Yeah. Yep.
That won't screw up any people that are English as a second language at all, I'm sure. No.
At all. Nah. You know, Grandma our abuela, who's 75 years old, is definitely looking at Bitcoin Cash. Definitely looking at the new, who knows, man? I mean, in Mexico, everybody in South America very much believe in crypto, especially during COVID, when their money was going to malarkey. So,
well, especially now they get to send money home for a zillionth of the price. And I have to remind people, they don't actually send the money home. Money doesn't go anywhere. Someone has a trust wallet on their phone here in the U.S., or in Canada, wherever you are, and someone has Trust Wallet on their phone in the Philippines, and it's the same account. They don't even send it. They just share a wallet. Interestingly enough, there's an argument whether that's actually transmitting money. I don't believe it is. It's just a ledger saying who owns it. And if somebody collectively owns it, a family collectively owns it, you're not transmitting it to anyone. So it doesn't violate any of the money transmitter rules and all that. And so the prosecutors in this type of thing are old school and think, oh, you're sending money. And the people that defend, the lawyers that defend it, really don't have a firm grasp of this. So the decisions keep going towards that it's money transmitting, but it's not. It's like sharing a bank account. If I deposit money into a savings account, but my grandmother in the Philippines withdraws it, right? The bank is not in the money transmitting business. It is what it is.
It's an open wallet.
Right, and so there's no money transmitting going on, and I'm increasingly seeing this argument grow in the legal system here, and I think eventually it's going to win over, and they're going to have to change all the money, especially in New York. They're just like, we're not money transmitters. But the problem is New York is so powerful, they whack you on the head. They're like, yes, you are. Okay, we are. We're sorry. Where's $1 billion? All right, tangent's over.
Well, I think what's interesting is that it's almost like there is the guy who, and Tom Bilyeu talks about this a lot, and I think it's very much true. It's like you can have the truth, but because of the peanut gallery and where you're at, they will not acknowledge because you're fighting against their own reality. So there was the guy who basically realized, oh, there's this thing called not microtoxins. What are the little bacteria called? Holy crap. Whatever. Bacteria. There were bacteria that allowed
microorganisms.
Thank you, microorganisms. I was a little short buses unite, let's go. Special ed, whoop whoop. Okay. The reason why I think this is important is that the institution at that time, the man figured out, oh, there's these microorganisms that literally live on us that we cannot see. And when we put our hands into to hold a baby, what do we see? We see babies basically like dying. We see the women die as well. And so he was telling everybody, hey, look, this is real. People are dying, and this is the cause and this is the reason why. And the doctors at that time could not believe that they were the cause of deaths. And they're like, you're crazy, dude. You don't even know what we can't even see. And he's like, no, you can see these here. Look,
right
under the telescope. And they're like, no, get out of here. And then, I mean, we're talking thousands. And he realized if you just washed your hands, simply washing your hands, you could literally save people's lives. So he showed them. He's like, look, we can sit there. And even with the data, they still say, you don't know what you're talking about. Be quiet. And then so the man basically they laughed him out of the whole entire medical field. They pushed him out. And long story, he died poor and destitute. But the fact is that he was right. And 20 plus years later, or 30 plus years later, they realized this is real, and they give him credit. And it's almost like, you
forget we have a doctor in the house.
Doctor.
And he said use microbes for short.
Microbes.
Pedro, that same thing happened to Isaac Newton. I mean, he was like, he figured out a whole bunch of things, and one of the things he figured out was the telescope. And he put it out there, and he's like, ooh, you know what? The planets and stuff and the sun doesn't revolve around the Earth. We revolve around it here. And I invented calculus.
That was
it Galileo?
Galileo, yeah. That's Galileo.
Newton. Well, whatever. One of those guys. Yeah. He took the telescope. He figured out, but he had to figure out calculus to figure out the orbits, and he could predict them. And it was science. And he said, oh, yeah, okay, it's going to appear right at this time. This comet's going to appear here. Boom, boom. Everyone could see it. Yet the people were like, no, you are not right. That's obviously incorrect. I went to school for 20 years here, and, blah, 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 blah. You're not right. And he's like, but I'm right, and we can see it with our eyes. Like we can see it. You can see it? No. And the same point though, with the doctors of age, like the Civil War, when they're cutting people's legs off at the same saw, and they're like, everyone on that row that was serviced by one lady with one saw got gangrene leg. But everyone over here that the lady cleaned this saw didn't. They're like, we have something here. Wow, now that's a side tangent today on this Friday, isn't it?
Yes.
Woo!
All right, so let's go into this little one here. So I'm looking at Matic. We're seeing Matic actually pick up in value here. You can see that we're coming up. We pulled down for the first part here, and then we're seeing it go up. The part that I'm looking for us to gauge is this area right here. That 32 to 31 area. You got liquidity here, so we're going to see it pull down and kind of come into here. But I'm expecting either that 34 where you look at the 400-day period moving average. This area right here is going to act as resistance. If this can get to it, if they can get through this, that next level is 52 to 49 area here. And so for me, I'm looking at this going like, you got a discount here. I mean, you're at 21 or 24 cents. It can get to 52 cents simply. It's very simply. Like, so I'm looking at Matic going, this is, I think, underrated. I think institutions will be looking to get into Matic because of the narrative, and it has a huge community. As they keep growing, they're going to realize, or as institutions get involved in crypto, they're going to realize the idea behind it is really community. And a dead community or a dead coin could easily get revived real simple with a good community. And so I think they'll definitely put money into Matic. And at this rate, you can already see it starting to get above that 200-day period moving average. And so the fact is, if we close above this 200 period moving average and we keep increasing in volume as we're doing, which I think we're going to, I'm definitely going to be looking to get in more and buy a little bit more Matic here. So it's all predicated on that 200 period close above and then come back and retest and push up. And you guys know the thing. You know, I talk about the 8 period moving average. I'm looking for the same thing to get above that 8 or the 200 for this case. Come back, find support, and put demand wicks in, and then continue higher. And so I think it's going to be a good little play. So if you want to play that, you can play that on some futures. And kind of play and, you know, let that sit for a few days, maybe even a few weeks if it really starts to pick up some steam there. So,
what do you go? Sorry, I was just about ready to ask you the question about time when you started talking about time. Where do you see that playing out in the next 2 to 3 weeks? Is that what you're talking about, or 10 to 20 weeks?
No, I see it happening now. Well, it all depends again on, here's the 200-day period moving average, and I'm expecting the target at least to here for a 1-to-1 ratio, right? Like your stop is going to be roughly around the 8 period moving average right here on the daily candle. So this, I'm looking at the daily candles here, okay? And so I want to see it close above the 20 period, this pink line, or not the 20 period, the 200-day period moving average right here. The pink line is the 200 daily simple moving average. My stop is going to be right below the 8, right at this level here. And more importantly, I want to see it go up and then come down. Wick, kind of how I talk about the liquidity pools, right? We go above it, we get above the 8, and then we find support on the 8, and then we continue higher. And the support we're looking for are demand wicks, which means they sell off and then people buy it back. They sell off, people buy it back, and then we continue higher. So that's what this pullback is. And it's got to be above that 200 period. The 200 period is going to be looking like this, right? And that's what we want to see. Come up and then come back down, and then it should go up and get to that 50 area here that I'm talking about. And then if we go above that for Matic, then expect Matic to continue higher up into that 77 to 74 area. So we'll see. And again, this is not a Hail Mary play. You're not putting your whole entire child's college here. This is a simple play of like, you know, $30-$40. You get in, put your stop in, and you're expecting to see a nice little push there. So I think that's what we're going to see. The fact is it cleared a lot of the moving averages, and we're seeing volume step in as it increases into the 200 period moving average, which means I think we're going to see it push through it and continue higher.
Push through it and continue higher. All right. Well, that's good. Right now, Pedro, behind the scenes, I took a screenshot of this and I'm tweeting it out to the Polygon/Matic community. See if we can get some interaction from them.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That would be cool. What was the other one? I wonder who's gonna bring this up. I have like, I think 3 or 4 people. I think some big names are going to bring up this move. We'll see if they position it right. I think it's funny. As always, I'm always checking out my H&T, see how it's doing. Doing nice. ICP seeing a little bit of an increase in volume. It's got to get above that 200 period, because you can see the 200 period, which is the pink line, has been holding on to price. The fact is that we saw the sell-off today as it got above the 8, and we're finding support here. So this is kind of the situation that I'm looking at. You see right here, we pushed above, and then we came back and test, right? It's kind of similar. We kind of pushed above. We came back and tested this area right here. It's more at the level of the first initial, but we're seeing an increase in volume is what I'm looking at for ICP. And so if this gets above the 8, excuse me, it is above the 8, which is what we want to see it come and really get above the 200 period, which is the pink line right here. I would expect it to see it kind of push up, come back down, find support on the 8, because the 8 will come up as it does this, as it comes down, and then push it back, come back down, find support on the 200 right here, right? That acts as support, and by that time we'll have the 8 crossing, and then expect it to go up and even higher. Again, that's an ICP. That's an ICP. Yes, India Charlie Papa trade here. So that's this level here. And again, the key point is this: we want to see the increase in volume, right, as we start to progress. Something that, as you can see, kind of like right here, see how this started right here, how this increased volume, right? I want to see today go increase in volume, which will look similar to this right here, as we started to see the run for ICP from this like 450 area all the way up back to the $6 mark area. And so nice little play here. It would look similar to that, but we'd expected to see it get to, again, it is all predicated on the 200-day period, us clearing that. But if we do, I think we'll easily see it get back up to that 750 area as it puts the next leg in. Now, another next leg in that we've been talking about is Fire Chicken. We have a guy who is a huge supporter of the show. We love him, great guy. And so we've got to bring up some Fire Chicken. Here we go.
Fire Chicken's got to get listed in CoinGecko, because CoinGecko is where my API pulls from, so I can get the great graphics machine working. Sure,
Absolutely.
That's top on Chuck's list of things to do.
He's got a million things, but
whoa, what's going on there?
Did your wife just walk in front of you?
In front of me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That was good.
I gotcha.
That was good. I was actually responding to Fire Chicken's moonshot here.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've been talking about is the fact that it's following that 8-period moving average. I saw a huge volume spike into it. And again, every time we've had seller days, the sellers are weak. They're weak. And every time we've had buyer days, buyers are coming in strong, and they're coming in, man. They ain't playing. Now, granted, I get it that the market cap on this is only 77,000. But again, that's how these small market caps start, and then they pick up steam, and then they get up and go, right? And so the fact is that you got to keep an eye on it, right? Like if this thing hits, 10, 20, 30 milli, one thing, me and Tom are going to retire.
Yeah.
And just playing. The plane. Anyhow,
God help you, young people that don't understand patronized cultural references.
I know, it's so bad. I actually look forward to it. I was actually at what's it called? Was it Marshalls or something like that? And one of the young girls comes up, and I go, she's like, "Oh, how's your?" I was like, "I'm doing good. Today's good." And I go, "What about you? Trying to take over the world?" And I was like, "The world?" And then she's like, "What?" Like looked at me like I'm all weird. And then the girl behind her goes, who's roughly my age, she goes, "Oh, he's talking about Pinky and the Brain." And she's like, "What?" And I go, yep, you caught it. And I was like, toss it back. And so, she's like, we started playing, we started bantering back and forth. And the girl was sitting there, and it was cute. It was cute because she was in on the joke. And so I would encourage every one of you guys, if you hear our stuff and you don't know, and you're a younger generation, please look it up and then throw in. Like if I say a merely flesh wound, that is an
Holy Grail.
Holy Grail. Search for the Holy Grail by Mighty Python. Or just say Mighty Python and search for the Holy Grail, and it'll pop right up. And it's English humor. Mine and Tom's generation just loved it. Anyhow, okay, next.
I fart in your general direction.
Yes, your mother was a
hamster.
Yes.
And your father smelled of elderberries. Why don't I have that one on here? I used to have it. Oh.
Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberries.
Sorry, Pedro. I didn't mean to put that in your ear.
Really loud. I was like, holy. Wow. Okay. America. All right, so let's talk about this here real quick. You can see here that we're definitely playing off of that 8-period moving average. It's definitely staying above it, which is really important because as this thing starts to keep pushing in, push up, I think the next level is that 100,000 to 200,000 for Fire Chicken. Like I don't know if here's the 100,000 area. We're sitting at 77,000. Are you guys on a futures that we could potentially take part in that futures trade as well? No.
There's no way. If they're not on CoinGecko, they're not in a futures contract anywhere.
Oh, that would.
There's no chance. But anyway, Connect Me One says, "Eat more fire chicken." Like the
fire chicken.
Like the Chick-fil-A tagline: "Eat more chicken, eat more fire chicken."
You guys have got to make sure, because you've got this giant wick right here, so it's really important that you guys really get on because you're going to see sellers step in at these levels here. So it's going to be really important that you guys really hit hard on your advertising, get it really up and running and going, because you've got some resistance here. I'm not saying that you don't, but the fact is that when you look at your volume of your buyer volume, it definitely, it shows more strength than weakness. So obviously you will be playing around here. You guys will come in and hit this area here, boom, kind of come in, boom, boom, boom,
boom,
and hopefully get up to that $1 million to $5 million market cap first as we see it get up and go. So good luck to you guys. Thank you. Also, do we own fire? Did we find out if we own Fire Chicken?
We do. We actually don't. We're gonna need to procure some.
All right. So boom. Chuck, if you like to look it up, I would appreciate it. But that's obviously not something you can do here. But either way. But I like Fire Chicken. I think what they do for an educational standpoint is really cool. They also go through and they talk about a lot of other things on their Twitter. They have an X. I've heard Chuck multiple times talk on big platforms, talking about what Fire Chicken is doing. So shout out to him for his grind and what he's doing there. All right, next, let's go ahead and go into my final. I don't know why I'm normally really good on my notes. Oh yeah, okay. I actually started doing what you do. I just started writing down stuff.
Yeah.
Which is actually really good.
It helps.
So petty, so pretty.
Well,
Chuck says so pretty. Go ahead.
Dr. Fire Chicken in the house.
In the house.
Eat more chicken. Especially eat more fire chicken.
Yes.
Lots of buys over there. I just posted a screen cap over in their Telegram room, and their buy bot has been pretty active. And that, if you looked at Pedro and I's, oh, look at that. There's me and Pedro.
There you go.
But in Fire Chicken, if you look in their Telegram room, it's pretty active in there with the buy bot, and that coincides with what's going on in their chart.
Sorry, boom. Where are you at? Okay, where's the next one? Where's the other one? Boom. Okay, so we're watching Crow, and the reason why I pay attention to Crow, because Crow was the first, obviously I own it, but also though, I bring it up because one of the things that we saw that really initiated the ICO last round, where we just saw the pump, we saw a pump before, and then we saw also pumped after, once everything kind of fell apart, which was Crow. And so I'm paying attention to Crow to see if it's a leading indicator to see what's going on. And you can see here, it's starting to pump hard. It's already at that 15-cent mark area here, and it's starting to climb. We're starting to see volume climb up. So if we start to see above average, which we're already seeing compared to previous times, like if you look, the average was rough. I mean, it just wasn't enough. Now you can see compared to here versus what we were watching over here when it was at the kind of consolidation period area. So I'm expecting us to start to see it go up. It's already starting to lead as a major indicator, I think. It's above the previous high, which is sitting right here. Not even Ethereum is above the previous high that was created. You know, it's getting close. Bitcoin is definitely not there, but you can see how Ethereum, right, is playing. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Today it did get above, right? So today got above it and starting to push above and starting to pull up with volume. In the same sense, Crow is the same thing. So I'm watching these two closely to kind of gauge where the market wants to push. I think if we really start to see Crow, and I think if we see Ethereum go up, we're going to see Crow go up. But I honestly think because Crow is more like a Goldman Sachs play, versus Ethereum is more like, let's say, an NVIDIA play, right? When you're looking at it, I think both will correlate there. Obviously, when Crow or when Ethereum goes up, I think a lot of the exchanges are going to go up because people want to go on and buy more of those things, and so then we see the coin and everything that correlates there really starts to push up higher. So, these are just some of the things that I'm looking at and gauging where the market I think will be moving up. So next week, I think we'll see an extended candle within Bitcoin as well as in Ethereum, and we're seeing already the volume come in there. So I'm kind of excited here into next week. I think expect over the weekend maybe a little bit of a sell-off into Monday and Tuesday, and then again we'll see the momentum come back again, much like what we saw with Ethereum over this past week. And we'll jump right back into Ethereum here. Ethereum, like we saw, it kind of please.
What'd you switch to there? Oh, did we lose Pedro again? We did.
Alrighty then. Like we saw last week, saw the sell-off into the push up here. So I'm kind of excited here. Key point here is this: is we do need to see Ethereum kind of push higher with the volume. I want to see it get above, if not at least equal to the seller volume into this week. So that's what we are at the end of this week, into next week, and then we'll start it over. But I thought we were higher on volume. I don't know why I didn't catch that, but yeah, this area right here is what I want to say. We're doing good. We're sitting pretty, but we need at least equal, if not surpass, the volume from last week as we push higher. I think we will see that, especially the fact is that a lot of the degens are going to try to, as always, degens always top off, which is funny, especially when they see a big movement. When we see Ethereum go up, also what do we see? A lot of the coins that are sitting on ETH go up as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see as we play here. Here we go.
Crypto Unicorn says Striking needs to pay attention to volume, if I recall, which is true. True that.
Yes. I agree. You can see here for Ton, TON is looking pretty hot. The fact is that this past week we saw the sell-off, but if you notice right here for TON, this week, it just is not. It's not even equating to the previous weeks of sells. So we saw the push up here on TON. Expect TON to kind of finish off probably at this level, maybe a little higher. But to me, this screams for the next leg up. You can see again, you had your 200-day period moving average. It fought with it, came back down below it. But if it closes this week above the 200-day period moving average for TON, which is sitting right below it, this thing is going to go up next week, and we're going to see it catch that 457. So again, be paying attention to the 200-day period moving average as we're going through. And the most important thing to be looking at is, even though we're seeing a bit of a sell-off, look at the buyer volume stepping in during these smaller days. So this is definitely people coming in into TON wanting to buy. TON is the coin that is correlated with Telegram. And so it's one of those things that I think just the main usage, if we could actually see somehow where Telegram is able to link TON coin into Telegram, this would be just I just don't understand why they haven't done that. But I would think it just makes sense to do that, because they have their own ecosystem. They're a worldwide organization. You could play around, with a lot of the, native fiat systems wherever they're at. But if I'm looking to buy something, I would say, hey, if you want to buy and build up your, this is what I would do. If I was them, I would sit there and say, buy TON.
What would you do, Pedro?
Buy TON, buy TON, buy your yearly subscription in Telegram, right? So you buy the coin, or you buy the coin. Once you buy the coin, you go in, you have the ability then to leverage that coin, and you could stake it. But more importantly, right, as you do that, right, you get more perks, more benefits to, let's say, what you develop over on Telegram. That just makes sense to me for a business standpoint. I don't know why the foundation doesn't do that, but I definitely would. Obviously, you pay with fiat, but you would get a discount with TON if you own TON.
For a while I heard a lot of things about TON being used in the whole advertising network.
Yep.
Sorry about that. Had the dog barkity bark. Being used in advertising, and advertisers getting paid in TON, and people having the opportunity to pay for advertising in TON and all that type of stuff, and become the center of a creator universe. But I haven't heard doodly squat about that since the arrest in France a while ago, and them kind of getting back on track with it. With Telegram and that. So I think they cooled their kind of promotion of usage of TON internally as an ecosystem to get further away from the kind of the regulatory issues they had. And I'm willing to bet that once they lawyered up, the lawyers said, hey, if we're going to do this, we're going to need to go jurisdiction by jurisdiction, which takes forever. This absolutely takes forever.
For whatever reason, I am having issues with this thing, and I need this thing to go off real quick.
All right, I've got your avatar up with your audio meter for right now.
Thank you. Yeah. One of the things I think what's interesting about TON is that TON is one of those ones that, like Facebook, it has the ability to push through what you would expect like a nation state that could do. Like its reach is so vast that if no take me off, I'll let you know when I want to because I got to pull something, I got to do something real quick. One of the things that I think is really important to understand is, as this market is moving here, again, if I'm an institutional buyer and I'm looking for like real plays, this would be one of the ones that I would expect us to really. What are you laughing at? What's up? You're killing me, Smalls. What's going on here? Whatever. I don't care.
You all forget right. I can see the broadcast feed.
Oh shoot, bro! You suck. No, I had to.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pedro is otherwise busy for a second here. I'm going to head back to the main screen here and find my news article that I had. Yeah, I had up here. Oh. I don't even know where to go with that one. Oh. Oh yes, that was it. Roman Storm got convicted for Tornado Cash. Tornado Cash developer Roman Storm. This is my story about money transmitter rules. Hold on, let me get on straight. Get back on here. God, that threw me for a loop. Where is the right button here? This one. So here's the article. Roman Storm got convicted for his role in the Tornado Cash development. It sets a dangerous precedent. Tornado Cash developers' conviction misapplies money transmitter laws, crypto industry says. The conviction of Tornado Cash co-founder and developer Roman Storm could set a dangerous precedent for developers and privacy. Legal observers in the crypto industry say. Storm was found guilty of operating an unlicensed money transmitting business on Wednesday, August 6th. The crime carries a maximum sentence of 5 years. The jury could not reach a consensus on charges of conspiracy to commit money laundering and conspiracy to violate U.S. sanctions. Federal prosecutors could still retry him on those two charges, which they probably will because they're dickheads. But anyway, Storm is yet to face sentencing. Yada, yada, yada. Legal professionals and industry observers have decried the verdict, saying it sets a dangerous precedent for open source developers and has implications for privacy. Let's see, where's the part about money transmitting? Creating a Tornado Cash cryptocurrency to amass the funds, the tool, blah, 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 is arrested, yada, yada, yada. Some have maintained that Tornado Cash devs cannot or should not be held liable for the actions of its platform use, particularly that of the platform. Judge Catherine Fiala denied a motion to dismiss the case in September 24, stating that Tornado Cash qualified as a money transmitter regardless of whether the developers had control over the funds. As such, they should have enacted the same anti-money laundering and know your customer measures as any platform. Hopefully, there will be an appeal for this, and this judge's decision to do that will be overturned. Now, first of all, I'm not a lawyer. By any means, not a lawyer. But I follow this, and I understand the technical aspects of how this works. Money transmitting, hold on one second. Ladies and gentlemen, give me 1 second here.
Can you hear me
now? I'll be right back. But in the meantime, let's see if I can run this. See if that works. Does that work? Nope, that doesn't work. Be right back.
I did. Can you hear me? Hello? Tom.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, let me get my
Can you hear me?
my ear
Hello,
thing
Tom?
working again. All right, Pedro, you there?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, let's move forward. Sorry about that.
Anyway, I was just talking about Tornado Castro of Roman Storm getting convicted. He did not get convicted of money laundering or anything like that, but he got convicted of operating an unlicensed money transmitting business, in which the judge said, look, the judge just told them, no, sorry, you can't, as part of your defense, you can't say we're not running a money laundering or money transmitting business. You obviously are. And the whole industry is saying, no, we're obviously not. It's not money transmitting. It's just, we talked about this, 20 minutes ago. If I put in money into my savings account and my grandma withdraws it in Belarus, is that transmitting money across the world? No, you're not transmitting anything. Nothing moved. Nothing went from an account to account. Central banks didn't settle up at the end of the year and move your money around as they do with wire transfers and things like that. And so the association here referred to an amicus brief in which it noted that Storm did not exercise control over the crypto either that went through the protocol. So he had didn't touch it at all. Unlike the money transmitting businesses like MoneyGram and Western Union and stuff like that, they actually take your money and they send it to their branch in Ghana via the banking system. And then someone there withdraws that cash. Cash is withdrawn and exchanged for local currency. Is where here, in the bank, money transmitters have possession of it and have licenses of it. If I write software and just send it out to the world, Pedro, this judge is saying, you wrote that software and sent it out to the world, even though the money never came through you. You still need to register as a money transmitter because you've created a tool for people to use against money laundering. And generally, most tool-based laws, especially when they involve code, have been overthrown. And so I would expect, hopefully, that this opinion would get overturned on appeal, or this conviction. And to be honest, I wish they had people on the jury like me. I mean, I've been on juries before, and you don't get the brightest on the juries. And I would say I was the exception because I was the foreman of the jury. But especially in technology, not many people know about crypto. I mean, we talk about it. We have a good show about it. The industry is growing. Even the president talks about it. Still, the man on the street really doesn't. You go up to 9 out of 10 people, they're like, well, yeah, it's kind of the digital cash or something. I don't know. And so I would say that the judge and the jury fell into that category too. Anyway, that's enough of the news. Pedro, I have to get rolling now because I have a small thing going on here with our HVAC system and workers coming into the apartment and all this type of stuff. But if there's something that you would like to talk about for 10 minutes or so without me, I can let this go and you can handle it, or we can just wrap this up. Pedro? Pedro?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yep, my finger hit the thing on accident again. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. Excellent. Okay, let's go to move forward here real quick. One of the ones that I was actually looking, we've talked about this for a while, was BAT.
I'm gonna step off for a minute while I deal with the guys at the door.
All right.
They're coming in to fix the AC, hopefully.
No worries. One of the things that I was looking at here was BAT, which was Basic Attention Token. This was one of those ones that I said I'm expecting it to kind of find support. It actually came through my area here that I was looking at, as you can see right here, but we did find support at the 100-day period moving average, which is sitting right here. And what's interesting about BAT is, even though we're not seeing a ton of volume at these lower levels, but you're seeing now the increase in volume here as it's pushing up. And the biggest thing I want to point out is look at the buyer wicks. This is again another play. If I'm an institution and I'm looking at what are like browsers and on Web3 browsers where people can actually receive money, be able to just simply looking at ads, and I can determine what I want to look at and how I want my ads to go and make money from it. This is one of those ones as a user, an ad user, that I would be definitely saying, you know what, I can target my audience here. and use this browser here to be able to get ahead from a level of, if I'm an institution, I'm like, and everybody knows money's in ad revenue. Like that's what this whole entire thing is about, right? Especially in the Western world. I would definitely be like, this is a game changer, right? And there are multiple companies out there. I like basic attention because everybody knows Brave. A lot of people use Brave in the Web3. Imagine if you saw Firefox allow for this, right? If Firefox was able to allow people to make money in this nature, this would be one of those things that you would still see Firefox pretty much around and used, right? This, I think, basic attention token here, which is called BAT, is going to be a major player here. I think it's once institutions look at what this is about and what they're actually doing here, I think it's just a no-brainer for us, or for anybody who's in like institutional buying where they're looking to get in at. And so for myself, I'm looking at going, okay, you can already see it starting to step in and get going here. So I think this is another play, an institutional play that I would want to be paying attention to. The other one was, Tom is not there. Cake? No, not Cake. Why am I thinking Cake? It's not Cake. It is, I mean, Cake is starting to pump. You can see here right now. Look, higher highs, higher lows coming in. Let's check the higher time frame real quick. Yeah, it's above. We are above the 8 here coming in. This thing could pump to $4 from that too quickly. We got the 200 weekly setting up. We're seeing an increase in volume. As you can see on the weekly, we're seeing higher highs, higher lows. On the weekly here, look, higher high, higher high. Obviously, this is selling off probably on the daily 200. No. Wow, I wonder what the what this was. What is, oh, it's a zone. You can see here, there's a bunch of liquidity here. Give me 1 second on the weekly. You can see here, they were trying to come up. So it looks like it's just a simple zone that it went off of for BT. Or BAT.
Sorry about that, Pedro.
No, it's okay. You're good. You're good. What are the comments being said? I just was going over BAT.
BAT, Braves stuff.
Yeah. Yep. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago of a potential area that we could expect to see an increase. It did go below my area, so I'm frustrated that my zone didn't hold. But it found support on the 100-day period moving average. I can't be perfect. I wish I was, though. I wish I really was a lot better. Or actually,
I wonder why it's called basic attention.
I have no idea. Oh, because you can determine what ad revenue you want or what ads you want to see on this, and you can get paid for it. And so you can pay for a full thing and not see it at all. But the reality is if I know that you're a Web3 provider, i.e., if I'm an institution, I'm like, okay, how do I take part in ad revenue, and what companies out there are looking like it potentially could get going? I assume that I would be drawn to, like, it's a Google. It's basically a Google, but for Web3 status. And so we talked about it coming down to our lower level here. It sold off, found support on the 8 period on the monthly, and then we saw it kind of push up here. And so I'm looking at this push because we're above the 100, we're above the 50. We just cleared the 200 period moving average with volume, not necessarily above average volume, but it's volume that is growing, right? And I'm seeing demand wicks come in, right? And so for me, I'm looking at it going like, it found support on that 8 here, on the daily. All right, that's this level right here. Now it did, again, went through my zone, but you can see how it came down, found support, pushed back up, found support right here at the 8 period. And then you can see that 8 period moving average is finding, like you can see we came down, tested that. And if we close above this liquidity area, then the next level that I'm expecting us to go through is to get all the way up to this higher level, which is going to be that 17.86 area. So 17 cents. So we should see then probably about 10% move up to that level there. So to play this on a level where you're looking, what, by the way, how much is, so it's $16 billion for the market cap. So you could play this pretty hard. If you want to buy the actual coin itself, it'd be a good area. But I'm looking really more or less to play this on the like a futures play. So you can trade
16 billion, did you say?
I'm sorry, that was the
that's 24-hour. The market cap for BAT is 230 billion. No, I'm 230 million.
Wow, it's cheap. Yeah, that's cheap. That's real cheap, because I mean, I think this should be another top 20 coin out there, and I wonder what its ranking is on coin market cap. BAT. B-A-T. They're in the top 200. So I think this is going to be one that if I am if I'm looking for it, to run software isn't that much, right? You're not expending, except for your energy usage and data service or data service plans, or not plans. Why am I forgetting what it's called? Basically, to hold your data, right? That isn't super expensive, really. They already have all that, so they've already put the upfront cash to go. So it's just a matter of time before people actually realize, oh wait, I can make real money. I can make a token. I can actually make some cash off of just simple browsing the market. It makes sense. So I like using Brave, but there's some frustration things about it that I don't like, right? Like my wallet, like it frustrates me that they did mess up on my wallet. They did mess up on some of the stuff that I'm trying to get my stuff taken care of again. But apart from that, which is still small details, you're still accruing coin. And so to me, I look at that and I go, it just kind of makes sense that if I'm an institution, I would invest money into that, because again, that's almost pure cash now. Once this thing gets up and goes, it just, right. I don't see why it would not work. And this thing is not wanting to open up. Okay.
Well, Pedro, we got credit for all of our ad reads today. It's good.
Nice.
Getting us hooked up there in the Rumble ecosystem once again. Trying to get together with Rumble to become their live studio commentators for one or more trade show events. So if you guys are watching from Rumble, reach out to us. We're already a creator. You guys pay us in the first place. And you might as well hook up with us, because we're coming to Florida and you guys are in Florida and we want to do business with you.
Absolutely.
Let's work it out.
Let's work it out. There you go.
We do need to work the end of the show into it here, though, Pedro. So let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up. All right. That is so interesting. I literally just looked up. They are so good. All right. Boom. That's about it, honestly. We can talk about some of this. I was going to talk about a couple micro coins here that I'm starting to pop off here, but
next week?
Yeah, we can talk about that on Monday or Tuesday as we start to push up. So it's one of those things that I'm like, let's go.
As for programming, ladies and gentlemen, I'm starting a little bit of an August sojourn as I have to go to a family wedding in New Jersey. So we're going to have a surprise for you next week, because I'm also going to be visiting some family elsewhere, which is near the New England headquarters of DYOR Media, and Pedro and I are going to do a show together live. How about that? For all of you watching right now, if there's any actual humans watching it besides us, comment on that. But yeah, we're going to do a show together next Wednesday. Our Wednesday show will be together live. Monday will be a normal show for us. Tuesday, probably going to be Pedro and a co-host as I'll be traveling that day. So it should be an interesting week next week in the guts of August, when all of Canada comes to a complete halt. They literally get nothing done. If you run a business that's productivity based, just forget it. Just hopefully you serve all your customers are similar companies, so they have zero expectations. When I owned a manufacturing business here in Canada, my customers were all over the world, and they did not understand that I couldn't make anything in August, even though a lot of them were European, and then none of them did shit in August. They're like, we still need our stuff. I'm like, you guys are just one of those things. In the US, August is a slow month, but not like Canada here, guys. Woof. It's like July 31st, and then the next day is April 1st. It's like, wait, what? Huh? Where'd all that time go? Anyway, Pedro, before I send us off here with all gassed up here, anything you want to close up with here?
No, not really. Like I said, there are some like pop. I can bring this up real quick. Popcat's pumping. You can start to see it starting to pick up. It got above the 8-period moving average, and potentially it's sitting around that 324 milli. We pulled back, and I'm kind of just paying attention to this to see if maybe over the weekend we can see a bit of a pump, maybe up to that 600,000 mark area. They just put in the lower low here, so we'll see what happens. But it's one of my ones that I'm looking at to see if we're gonna be able to kind of take off.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, going out with all gassed up again. Had a good show today. Had a good week. Good milestones met with the Rumble crew here. Watch the market pump. Watching it the rest of the week here. It's not dumping yet. Looking for a Friday little dumpage here. Opened up on Monday up. Friday means down, as Pedro always says. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, programming next week, Monday normal, Tuesday have a guest host with Pedro, Wednesday we'll be live together in one room. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So it should be a good next week, and a new first for DYOR Live in this broadcasting business. Anyway, as I always say, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. The man next to me in the box is Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst, and Pedro Damas de Jor. We've had a good week, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for spending your time with us. Thanks to those of you that donated your hard-earned cash to us. We really appreciate that. So anyway, have a good day, have a good time, and see you next week.
Can't keep it inside, freaking the beat, believe it's my mind. Whether and how other words in my head, I'll be coming right back to the start of the beat. People been leaving their evil open, hoping that God will see them free. Learn to sail your inner ocean, hearts swollen, souls frozen. Potion got me open, I can feel the bad omen, lost in this moment. Jack love at last, I'm at peace with this vast blood. Only took a crash, landing down in the trash mud to figure out why I've been so smashed up. Holy moly, lonely only when I'm coldly zoning, cozy in my holy home without my homie ceremonies, owning in my own, roaming through my dome, hoping that I'm only throwing stones to get you going. Maybe you could clone me, break the ache and make me hate the way forsaken snakes take their stake in what I make and break it. Maybe lay it on a plate, maybe shoot it out in space to watch it die. Either way, I ain't trying to lie. everything I can spirit beneath all the hate and the good in the way that they want to just make me believe in anything.